So hi everyone. While people just join us, I'd like to say a couple of words about the agenda today. We've chosen to discuss the topic of delegation and control as least responsibility because we believe that in today's rapidly changing world, effective leadership is essential for organizers to achieve their goals. During our session, we will explore how effective delegation can maximize productivity, develop employee skills, and promote a culture of trust and collaboration. We will also discuss the connection between delegation and control, looking at different levels of control that can be applied. Additionally, we will touch the topic of micromanagement, acknowledging that this area are really can be appropriate in some different situations. And now let me introduce our speakers today. First, we have Katsiaryna Navitskaya here, educational manager at instinctools. Katsiaryna has over 15 years of diverse working experience and expertise in improving employee engagement and managing effective training programs. Our second speaker is Anastasia Mikhailova, HR people partner at instinctools. Anastasia has 5 years of experience in strategic HR planning, employee relationship, and talent management. Throughout the session, our speakers will share not only the theory, but also practical advice and real-life examples from their experience. This is all about the agenda so far, and I guess, guys, we can start soon, so I encourage you to take part in our discussion, share your thoughts, and also send your questions in the chat. And after the speaker's presentation, there will be a special time to discuss your questions. So once again, welcome to everyone who just decided to spend the time with us today. And let's dive into this journey together, sit back and just enjoy. So Katsiaryna, Anastasia, I will now hand over to you.
Yeah, thank you. So hi there. We're glad to see you at our meetup on delegation and control. And today we would like to share our experience in training managers and leaders at instinctools on leadership. Especially, we would like to focus on one of its crucial aspects, delegation and control. So let's get started. Okay, before we start our meetup.
Just a second. Hello, everybody. I want to share this my presentation.
Yeah, I think that Katsiaryna has some troubles with sharing.
Yeah.
Natalia, could you help us, please?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, now I have. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, good.
Yes.
Okay. So give us a sec, please.
Now you should see. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, and I'll continue, okay? So before we start our meetup, we would like to tell you a little bit about us. So Natasha told us a little bit, but we would like also to share like who we are and what we do at the company, okay? So, but you know, we like dialogue, and from time to time, we would like to involve you into our conversation. So we will ask you some questions, and you can answer like in the comment box. So let's try it right now, okay? We would like to know where are you from and what is your position in your company. As for me, I'm from the USA, and you know it's morning here right now. Katsiaryna is from Poland, and so we are waiting for your answers. Please share. And while we are waiting, I'll continue my introduction. So, like Natalia already told you, yes, I'm Anastasia, and I've been working at the company for 5 years at the HR people partner position. I specialized in strategic HR planning, employee relations, and talent management, and I have strong experience working closely with senior leaders to support business goals. I'm working on designing and implementing HR programs to increase employee engagement, retention, and career development. So, Katsiaryna.
Yeah, thank you. And I just see one answer from Poland, project manager and business analyst. It's nice to meet you and to see you at our meetup. Yeah, my name is Katsiaryna, and I have more than 15 years of working experience. 10 of these years I'm specialized in education adult people, and more than 5 years I work in an IT company. I have successfully led some HR analytical digitalization project, and this project based on on different points of motivation profiling system, analyzing motivation dynamics, implementing HR informational system, optimization HR processes, and so on and so forth. About our experience in the topic of this meetup. During last 2 years, me and Anastasia, we developed and implement the course for leaders in our company. It explains manager soft skills such as leadership, development, delegation, motivation, and others. And this meetup summarized our experience in managers and leader preparation and dedication at instinctools, and we would like to share our experience and combine different elements of educational activities that we have found effective. This meetup will be available for those who are interested in the topic of delegation, and also for those who are seeking to develop leadership skills for their employees and teams. If you would like to ask a question, please feel free to text it in our chat. We will answer it. And we hope that at the end of our meetup, we will have time for a small discussion about this topic. And I hope that you will join us in this discussion.
Yeah, and we see that we have people from different countries. Like I see Turkey, I see Poland, Belarus. So I'm from the USA. So take
yeah, Ukraine,
yeah.
Turkey. Yeah, it's
great.
very nice. Such diverse audience. It's very interesting. It's very pleasure.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for your for you being so active in our chat. Yes. Okay, let's continue. So agenda. What is the today? Today we will learn about what is the main point of delegation and its importance in leadership role. How to separate the delegation process from the setting tasks. We will talk about delegation models and how a leader can use them for delegation in team. Also, we will tell you about delegation and control and discuss the relationship between them. And finally, we will discuss micromanagement. We will teach you how to understand the difference between control and micromanagement, and we will offer you some strategies to avoid micromanagement tendencies. So let's dive in and explore this together. The next question is, why do we choose this topic? In our company, we have a program dedicated to supporting leaders and managers. Yes, this program consists of onboarding course, specially designed for managers, and a series of training sessions focused on developing essential soft skills. Yes, our common challenge and one common challenge, yes, which faced by our leads is feeling overwhelmed by the huge number of tasks they have to handle. And often this overwhelm is the result of trying to handle multiple responsibilities. That's why the topic of delegation and control holds significant importance for our managers. We realized that just to give a theory about delegation is not enough, and we would involve our leaders to this topic and highlight the importance of effective delegation and control in leadership roles. That's why we have chosen the format of an open discussion. This format includes different questions, cases concerning various aspects of delegation and control. Our soft skill development course for leaders and managers has great results, but the topic of delegation has always received the greatest feedback. And we understand that this approach could be interesting for the audience.
Yeah, and as we announced, we start from the definition of delegation the same way we start our training, because first of all, we should understand what the delegation really means. From the first view, the question is very easy, but delegation is not such simple as it may seem at the first sight. If you think that it's obvious, try to make the definition right now. Really try to make the definition in your mind. When we offer this task to our managers and leads, some of them got stuck. And when we conduct our leadership training for our managers and lead, we purposely didn't include the prepared definition in our models. We think that to understand the most valuable characteristic of delegation, it's important to find out the definition yourself. It is key for us to lead them to the next point in finding out the clarification. First of all, delegation is about involving others. Delegation involves team members or individuals in the completion of tasks and responsibilities. By involving others, delegation allows more collaborative approach to work, leveraging the diverse skills and expertise of team members. It promotes teamwork, encourages employees' development, and creates a sense of shared ownership. The second point is responsibility. Responsibility implies that the person whom you delegate to is accountable for the outcomes and results of the task. They are expected to fulfill their obligation, meet deadlines, and deliver quality work. By assigning responsibility, delegation empowers individuals and fosters a sense of accountability within the team. And third point is authority to complete. Delegation grants the necessary authority to team members to complete the delegation tasks. This authority includes the decision-making power and autonomy needed to accomplish the assigned responsibility effectively. So we can consume that delegation is about involving others, entrusting them with specific responsibilities or tasks, and granted them the authority to complete them. It involves transferring a portion of your own authority or decision-making power to another person. Then we asked our leads about how often they use delegation. And usually we received different answers. And after this, we tried to clarify the reasons of the question, why don't you use delegation wider or more often? And we found out some interesting points that are important to notice. They are connected with the questions, why delegation is important, what is the difference between delegation and setting tasks, and what tasks you can and cannot delegate. Let's look at this point together. And the importance of delegation can be understood by the benefits. So delegation services multiply purpose of benefits both leaders and members. For leaders, delegation allows them to focus on strategic priorities, leverage their time and expertise in areas where they add the most value, and avoid becoming overwhelmed with operational details. For team members, delegation provides opportunities for skill development, learning, and growth, allowing them to expand their capabilities, gain the new experience, and take on more significant responsibilities. So, if you start to delegate, you will absolutely increase productivity, because delegating helps distribute the workload and ensure efficient tasks execution. It's obvious that empowering individuals through delegation allows them to grow their skills and develop professionally. Moreover, by delegating, leaders can use the diverse talents within the team. Delegation helps leaders prioritize strategic tasks by asking others to make some responsibilities and to assign these responsibilities to teammates. Delegation fosters teamwork, trust, and collaboration among team. It's enhancing overall performance. And of course, delegation prepare individuals for future leadership roles by giving them the opportunity to handle high-level responsibilities. At its core, delegation is about leveraging the strengths and capabilities of team members to achieve collective goals. Moreover, delegation is not a one-time event, but an ongoing process that requires continuous feedback, coaching, monitoring to ensure progress and success. And it's important to know that effective delegation is built on a foundation of trust, mutual respect, and open communication. So, leaders must establish a culture that encourages team members to take initiative, make decisions, and learn from their experience. Trust is essential in delegation, as it allows team members to feel empowered, take calculated risk, contribute their unique perspective to the team collective success.
So, let's break down the key differences between delegation and setting tasks. So, delegation involves entrusting someone else with a specific responsibility or task and granting them the authority to complete it. It's like giving someone like a bigger role to play in a project or objective. Here is how it works. You transfer some of your main authority or decision-making power to the person you're delegating to. Then you provide clear instructions and define the desired outcome. And finally, you offer the necessary resources and support for successful results. Setting tasks is about assigning specific activities for assignments to individuals within a project or workflow. It's like breaking down a larger project into smaller manageable pieces. So here is how it differs from delegation. You specify what needs to be done and provide instructions. Then you establish deadlines or milestones for each task. And finally, task setting happens within a context of a broader project plan or goal. In summary, delegation involves giving someone a broader responsibility or objective, granting them authority to make decisions and take ownership. On the other hand, setting tasks focuses at assigning specific activities within a larger project. Both delegation and setting tasks are important for effective management, but delegation involved a higher level of responsibility. It involves a high level of responsibility and transfer and authority, while setting tasks is more focused on like specific activities within a project. But as a leader, you use both setting tasks and delegation in your work. When we discussed this topic with our leaders, we asked them questions about what tasks they can and cannot delegate. And we identified the following activities. So the tasks that can be delegated are, for example, administrative tasks. It can be something like scheduling meetings, like organizing travel arrangements and others. Also, we can delegate routine and repetitive tasks like data entry, report generation, and others. Research and analysis. It can be like data collection, market analysis, and we can delegate specialized tasks like coding, like financial analysis, and so on. Of course, it's not the whole volume of tasks that we can delegate, but only some examples. On the other hand, there are some activities that should not be delegated. Okay, guys, could you share, please, what activities you never delegate? You can text it in our text box, so please. Maybe we will waiting for the first answers. Okay, so while you're texting, I'll continue. So what tasks our managers will never delegate? Okay, it can be like strategic decision making, because usually it should be done by leaders or individuals with authority and expertise. Also, it can be performance evaluation and feedback, because it also should be done by appropriate supervisors and managers. We should not delegate confidential or sensitive matters. Building and maintaining a relationship is also hard to delegate, because it usually needs specific expertise and authority to do it. And personal tasks unrelated to work. Delegation should generally be limited to work-related tasks, and personal task or responsibility, like personal asking, should not be delegated at all. So by understanding these differences, leaders can effectively delegate tasks while providing critical responsibilities that are managed.
Yeah, and during Anastasia, you told there was
Yep.
some right answers, also
Yoo-hoo!
about strategic decision making and so on.
Oh, great.
So yeah,
Okay, so
so
we all are
let's
right.
yeah. So let's go further and let's look to the second part of our topic is delegation models, and there are several delegation models that have been developed to guide and structure the delegation process. And these models can help you to start delegation, explain which steps you should do, or how to wider your delegating based on trust to your team. So we'll briefly show some of this model, and you can read more about each of them yourself if you are interested. So first of all, it's ladder of delegation, and it's provide a structured approach to delegation. It consists of 5 levels, from providing specific instructions in direction way through the coaching, supporting, and delegating to full empowerment. And to use this model effectively, you should start by assessing the individual skill, knowledge, and experience. Based on their competence and readiness of your employees, you could delegate tasks on the appropriate level on the ladder. So gradually move up the ladder as the individual demonstrate proficiency and gain confidence. So you can go step by step and receive the full autonomy of your employees in this delegation process. So the second model is STAR delegation models, and it emphasizes setting clear objectives or expectations for delegation tasks by SMART. So to use it, this model, you should clarify tasks or objective, ensure that it's measurable, achievable, make sure that these tasks are relevant to individual skills, and of course to align with broad goals for your employees. So set a specific deadlines or time frame will help you to create accountability for completion of the tasks. So third model is SCARF model, and it highlights the impact of social factors on delegation. And to apply this model, it's important to be mindful of the individual status and treat them with respect and recognitions. So provide clarity and certainty about experience, expectations, timelines, and resources. Grant a suitable level of autonomy, allowing them to make decisions with their delegated roles. Foster a sense of relatedness by encouraging collaboration and creating a support team environment. So finally, ensure fairness in task assignments, recognition, and rewards. And the last model here is situational leadership, which suggests to adopt your leadership style based on the readiness or competence of the individuals or the team. So these delegation models serve as a framework and guides, and of course you can adopt, modify them based on your specific context, the capabilities and readiness of your team members, and the goals of your project or your organization. So to decide, when we analyze these different models, we understand that to explain the details of each of these models for our leads, it would be overwhelmed for them. So we choose only one model and share the adaptation of its to choosing the delegation strategy. And it's the adaptation of the situational model by Paul Hershey and Kenneth Blanchard. It's based on motivation and skills level, and help to find out the delegation strategy for each type of employee. When we evaluate the employee on their motivation level, we can divide them into 2 groups. So it's individuals who demonstrate a high level of motivation, and they are proactive, self-driven, and take initiative. They are enthusiastic about their work and show a strong sense of ownership and commitment. We will name them I want. The second group is individuals with low motivation. They may lack enthusiasm and engagement in their work. They may require more supervision, support, and encouragement to perform their best. So we will name them I don't want. Yeah? By the competence level, we also could divide our employees, our team members, to two groups. Team members with high skill level possess the necessary expertise, experience, and competence to handle complex tasks independently. They demonstrate a strong understanding of their responsibilities and can make conscious decisions. There are the second group of individuals with a low skill level who may have limited experience or knowledge in a particular area, and they require guidance, training, and supervision to perform tasks effectively. So we will use I can and I cannot for these groups. Of course, the model doesn't include transferring states, but the gradation is sufficient for a general understanding of this model and its adaptation. Based on this combination of motivation and skills level, the delegation matrix can be defined as follows. So we have the first interesting sector I want, I cannot. And there are people who are strongly motivated but have little experience of making such tasks. Usually it could be newcomers who have just started working, their desire to do something, they are ready to work hardly, and sometimes they have lack of knowledge or some expertise. The best to work with them is instruct them, set clear goals for them, explain some points, control them. You can teach, even teach them. Yeah, and there are little or no need to motivate them. They are ready to take everything you will ask them. The second sector which I want to show is the sector I don't want, I can. This category includes people who have a lot of experience, but for some reason they lost their motivation. For example, it could be happen with employees who are close to burned out. Yeah, and the right leadership style is engagement. They need to be motivated. You should sell ideas to them and persuade them to complete the tasks. So the focus in the interaction with this group should be on their motivation. The third sector is the sector I don't want, I cannot. Such people are neither able or not willing for whatever reasons. The appropriate leadership style here is mentorship, and there is the most difficult category, of course, the most difficult, because such employees not only need to be trained, but also constantly motivated. So you should set clear goals for them, give them instruction, clear orders, constantly controlling them step by step, but at the same time, do not forget to explain the reason for making certain decisions and sell ideas and ways of solving problems. And the last category is the category I want, I can. Of course, it's the easiest group to delegate. The management style here is called the same, delegation, and you could set vague goals in front of such people or pay little or no attention on how the task is accomplished. They do not need to be supported and motivated, but this doesn't mean that you should work and you should delegate only to this group of people. Of course, this last group is the easier for delegation, but in fact, you can delegate to any members of your team, but you should understand that the cost and resources will be different. One more interesting thing in this model is that we should not delegate to each of this group ourselves. We can use the approach of cascade delegation, when they delegate to tasks to one person and who then delegate part of it to another individuals or subordinate. So it means that For example, you can delegate the task of teaching and supporting the employees from group I can to employees who are I cannot. For group I don't want, this approach could bring additional motivation by involving them into mentorship and educational activities. Another case could be if you delegate the motivation or selling of the tasks from the employee from group I want, I can't, and they inspire the people and employees from the group I don't want, I can. To practice this topic, we offered different cases to our leads where they could choose the better strategy for delegation. They can discuss their different approaches, evaluate the level of motivation and competences of team members, and so on. We will not share these cases with you, but it was interesting, and if you will use this model, you can write different cases and offer it to your leads. So we could finish the topic of delegation here. But in reality, delegation is not only about involving others to task making, but also about receiving the results, expected results, which we are talking about. So let's imagine that the rope is delegation tasks. It could be straight or simple or complex, complicated, and so on. While the rope is in your hand, it's fully accountable. You're fully accountable for it. You hold it, but as we talked, you can delegate it to another person. And in our this visualization, it would be if you take the end of this rope to the employee or to team member. In that situation, when the delegation task is becoming free and the authority could be lost, as we taught, we delegate and that's finished, we could not receive the results. It could be the situation when our delegation task could be overwhelmed for employee, and also we will not receive the results. So delegation tasks shouldn't limit or restrict employees. The person whom you delegate tasks shouldn't feel alone with his tasks without any support. Your delegation tasks should give the employee the possibility to grow. It's very important. And I think that it's clearly showed in this visualization. When you delegate tasks, you anyway, you hold some points of responsibility. You should manage the process of your delegation, and you should take the other end of this rope in your hand. This other end of this rope is control. And when control is balanced, the delegation, you will receive the possibility to increase the result of your team, and not to get to the situation of tug of war, for example, when control can demotivate. In reality, the managed control could give you effective coordination, alignment in this situation. It's not about micromanagement or suppression the autonomy of people. It's about ensuring that delegation tasks is on the track and aligns with your organizational objectives, and it meets desired outcomes. So the topic of control is not less important than delegation, and is very close to delegation, is connecting to delegation. And we offer you to dive in the topic of control.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for this great example, Katya. And yes, we would like to to talk to you about delegation and control. So, guys, how are you? Are you okay? Are you still with us? So, yeah, thank you. Put something like in our text box. So, yeah, I see. Okay, great. So, delegation and control. Thank you. Delegation and control usually go hand in hand, and balancing delegation and control inspires trust, promotes collaboration, and leads to team success. Here are a few scenarios of using different levels of control. Yeah. So the first one is high level of control. We can use this level of control when we delegating critical or sensitive tasks. This could involve providing specific instructions and requesting regular updates or checkpoints. While you trust the person to the task, you maintain a level of control and involvement. Yep. So, do you use this level of control? Maybe you have some examples and you can text it in our text box, please. So, and I'll continue. I'll tell you about the next level of control. It's moderate. And we're still waiting for your examples, okay? So moderate level of control we use for tasks that require a certain level of expertise or experience. Here you provide clear instructions and expectations, but allow the person to use their judgment and decision making. You might establish milestones or checkpoints to assess progress and provide guidance as needed. And the last one level of control is low level of control, and we can use this level in the situations where the person you delegate to has a high level of competence and experience. Here you provide clear goals and outcomes, but give the person a freedom to determine their approach and make decisions. So we give the person the possibility to take responsibility for the task, and your involvement in this case is minimal, and it can be limited and to occasional updates and support if it's needed. Yes. Okay. So do you have some answers?
No, maybe it's due to time.
Okay.
Yeah, we are.
Maybe later. Okay.
Yeah, maybe later.
Okay, so we will continue. You know, guys, you should always remember that excessive control in delegation can limit employee motivation and growth. And to ensure effective delegation, let's consider the following points of control. So, first of all, set clear expectations. Define outcomes, quality standards, deadlines, and guidelines. Monitor progress. It can be like regular check-ins, updates, and progress reports that that help to track tasks and address issues or risk in a timely manner. Then provide support and resources. It's very important. So offer guidance, offer training, and provide necessary resources to help team members to have a success. Yes. Feedbacks, offer feedback and evaluation. Provide constructive feedback to guide and motivate individuals. And performance evaluation is very important also, and it helps to improve the delegation process. And encourage autonomy and growth. Delegate tasks to empower individuals. Allow them to make decisions, contribute their expertise, and grow professionally. So, effective delegation, find the sweet spot between guidance and autonomy. And it keeps employees engaged and motivated. Ideally, as trust grows and the employee demonstrates competence and reliability, you can gradually reduce the level of control and provide them more autonomy. Yes, this helps create a positive delegation dynamic that promotes growth, collaboration, and employee engagement.
Yeah. So I don't see any answers for our question about high level of control. Sorry, Anastasia.
Yeah. It's okay, no problem.
Yeah. So let's go to the last module in our meetup, and it's connected with micromanagement. Have you ever worked with micromanagers? Put plus in our chat if you have this experience. It's very interesting. Do we have such people? Yeah. Yeah, that smile also. I think that it's
Yeah, I see
something
this
like
crying
plus.
face.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, of course. Maybe I'm not happy to see that so much people worked with micromanagement, but most of times micromanagers are understanding only in a negative way or leadership style, which characterized by excessive control, involvement, or careful studying of minor details of tasks and processes when it have distracted officials of individuals. Yeah. Uh, but some leaders may resort to micromanagement with good intentions, such as ensuring quality, granular understanding of the work being done, or a skill development for new unexperienced employees. So sometimes micromanagement could work, but it's not useful when it manifests through actions such as constant monitoring, excessive effectiveness, a lack of trust in team members' abilities, and so on and so forth. So it can be a result in reduced motivation, reduced activities, reduced creativity, decreased job satisfaction, and so on. So micromanagement team may feel disempowered, disengaged, and less likely to take initiative. Causes and triggers of micromanagement can be various. It could be the leader's own insecurity, his perfectionism, his lack of trust, or desire to control. External factors such as high-stake projects, teen deadlines, previous negative experience, they may also trigger micromanagement tendencies. In some cases, leaders may unknowingly roll into micromanagement due to a lack of clarity in their roles, expectation, or communication breakdowns, and something like this. So as a result, we could find different types of micromanagement. I will show you some of them. For example, it could be control freak, yeah, who wants to be involved in every decision and control each detail. It could be perfectionist, who have extremely high standards and expect everything to be done accurately. So it could be nitpickers who criticize every minor mistakes, often focus on trivial details rather than the big picture, and so on. It could be time tracker who monitor and control employee times and attendance, and so on and so forth. There are a lot of different types. I think that if you are interested, you could find it. But what we could do to overcome this micromanagement? And to overcome this micromanagement tendency, leaders can adopt several strategies. They could clearly communicate goals, desired outcomes, and performance standards to team members. This clarity allows individuals to understand their roles, responsibilities, and the level of autonomy that they received in their tasks. You should promote a culture of trust by demonstrating confidence in team member abilities. Delegate tasks, provide autonomy, and encourage open communication. Establish open channel of communication to facilitate regular updates, feedbacks, and information sharing. Encourage team members to seek clarification or support it when they need it, to provide timely, constructive feedbacks. If the level of your team members are not high, you should even go to them with clear instruction, as we said it today. Yeah? Instead of controlling every aspect, focus on providing guidance, coach your team, mentorship to help them develop their skills and grow professionally. This approach promotes learning environments and help to build self-sufficiency within the team. Shift the focus from micromanagement tasks to focusing on desired outcomes and results. Encourage team members to take ownership on their work processes while providing guidelines when they are needed. By avoiding micromanagement, you could empower your leadership style. You could create an environment that encourages growth, engagement, and success of your team. Microphone, Anastasia, microphone.
Sorry, I always forget about it. Okay, so guys, finally conclusion. So thank you so much for staying with us till the end of our meetup and the conclusion. So in conclusion, we would like to say that delegation effectively is a valuable skill that can increase your productivity, develop your team members, and improve overall outcomes. Effective delegation is a continuous learning process. By practicing and refining your delegation skills over time, you can become more proficient in assessing tasks, empowering others, and achieving better results. There are a lot of delegation models, and by knowing how do they work, you can choose any to create your own delegation style. Delegation and control go hand in hand, and effective control measurements allow, and effective control, it can measure, and it allows leaders to monitor progress, identify tasks, and intervene when it's necessary. A balance between delegation and control allows to inspire trust, promote collaboration, and lead teams towards success. While talking about micromanagement, there's situations when micromanagement is useful and can be effective. Yes, but mostly try to avoid it and to create an environment that encourage growth, engagement, and success. So that's all from my side, and thank you.
It's everything what we prepared for this meetup. And thank you for your attention. And it was very pleasure that you was active in your reaction to some of our information. And we are ready to answer some question, or maybe we will have a short discussion about the topic of delegation and control.
Yeah, many thanks to both our speakers. You brought us really brilliant ideas and insights. So guys, it's time for discussion. And I remind you that you can write down your questions in the chat here. And I'd like to start with some questions which we have received by our register form first. So the first question is, can you provide some examples of your personal experience of successful delegation and its impact on team results?
Yes, of course. I think that there are a lot of different examples. Maybe I could share one experience which was in our company. I remember that there was one resource manager who delegate his responsibility to group leads, step by step. And it helped him to prepare this employee for manager position in advance. And in the situation when this resource manager received a new position, the group lead was ready for this new activity by this preparation time. And the transferring came smoothly, and we received a new, very good resource manager. There was no problems with the team, and he knew everything what he should done. So by delegation, we could really to establish readiness to new positions for people.
It's really good example, thanks, yeah. And the second question is, what techniques can leaders use to delegate tasks to remote teams?
Yeah, I can answer. You can use all the techniques that this person uses to delegate tasks to the team on site, because it doesn't matter where his teams are situated. So the techniques are the same.
Yeah, makes sense. Thanks. The third question is how to figure out that you are already a team lead.
Strange question. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but maybe
Really.
just people need some guidelines or just something to understand.
I can say that if in your company it's like the official position, it could be named differently. For example, it could be team lead, tech lead, group lead, and something like that. If when you receive the offer for this official position, you will exactly know that you now team lead, and you should use different tasks to delegate and to manage your team. And if it's an official position, maybe you will understand when you will receive some followers or teammates who will understand you as a leader. It's like informal position, but also you could understand it by receiving these followers and team members.
Yeah, good, thanks. And now I can see some questions in our chat. So the first question from chat is how to determine whether the correct level of control is selected and the moment when it needs to be changed.
Sorry, I have to read it also myself in the chat. Yes, okay.
Yes, just the last question from the chat.
Yeah.
How to determine?
I can answer.
Okay.
As we taught, for example, there was the delegation models where at the beginning you could evaluate the level of readiness of your employees or team members to some tasks, and you could divide on different steps, and to offer them to delegate and to balance it with the control, this delegation tasks. And if you due to the process of this delivering of this delegation task, you will understand that the person is ready to less control. You can go to this more autonomy for employees to work, and to offer them more responsibility for these tasks.
Yeah, also you can monitor the performance of this employee. Yes, and you can, also you have some feedbacks from the team or from I don't know, from the project manager. So it's help you to understand that it is time to increase or to decrease the level of control.
Yeah, it's a good point. Thanks. Next question. How can an employee force a lead to delegate tasks for him, for an employee?
Yeah, I think that I saw this question, and so I provided the answer, and one of our colleagues provided the answer, and I fully agree with him. So you can talk to him. Yes, you can ask him about it, and I think that it's the main point of it's solving this question, just to tell him.
It's really simple, actually, a really simple answer, just to talk. Yeah. Next question. What questions should the employee ask the lead to get the full scope of the task? Is there a checklist, definition of ready for delegation?
Yeah, of course, there is no like a checklist because tasks could be different, but you should understand that delegation is also how to say, connect with open communication, and it's normal to ask different questions to your manager to clarify your tasks, to clarify his expectation about outcomes of these tasks and so on. And you could even to talk with your manager about these points of control, the level of control which will receive, which KPIs or points we should evaluate during developing different tasks and so on. So you could ask different questions which will help you to understand better the tasks which you received, and to make that you align with your manager in your tasks.
Yeah. And I guess it's the last question from the chat. What tools do you recommend? What tools do you recommend? Oh God, I just got more questions in the chat. Sorry. Yeah. What tools do you recommend for delegation and tracking both recurrent and delegated tasks?
I think that there are a lot of different applications for this. I don't want to say any titles. Yeah, but you could use different project management systems for assigning tasks and tracking the process and progress and so on.
Okay. Ivan asked, is there any differences tasking with delegation?
Yes, and we've already told
we talked about
it.
This.
Yes, so we have the whole block about like delegation versus setting tasks, and of course I can repeat it, but I think that we have no time just for repeating the whole block.
Ivan, to say in general, it's the delegation is more closer to kindly or asking than just setting tasks.
Yeah, and this meeting is recorded,
I'll tell you when we have time, okay? So.
Yeah, plus this meeting is recorded, so now after the meeting, I'll send email with this video so you can watch it again.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah. Another question, is it a good idea to take the initiative and do the task if not delegated, taking into account that the initial date are known?
I think that just you can like to, if you like have this initiative to take a task, yes, you can. If you if you can do it, yes. If you can responsibility for the results, of course you can do it. But you know, if you do not know how to do it, if you do not well prepared to do it, I think that it's a bad idea.
Yeah, so if you're I just afraid that maybe there are some corporate cultures which are not open to such initiative, but I think that most of modern companies they are open for this initiative, and they support initiative from employees. And even if you have some doubts about this, don't worry to talk with your manager about your initiative and to ask him about some support. I think that it's a good idea.
Yeah, true. Alex asked quite tricky question, I would say. What would you recommend to do if the team got used to getting delegated tasks, but you need to set some other tasks that are not considered to be delegated?
Is it talking about the prioritization of different tasks when the team is overwhelmed or not?
Alex, maybe you can just leave some comments about this question.
Yeah, I think it's when your team got used to getting tasks in a more polite manner, as you mentioned, that delegating is a little bit more polite, or like asking something to do, rather than getting tasks to be done with a specific parameter of time. Well, it's doable, achievable, it's measurable, you know, it's realistic, it's time bound. And how do you switch back to going not so soft?
Yeah, you know, one more difference between, for example, the setting tasks and delegation is about job position explanation, and obligations of the job position. And if there is something what is right in this job position, of course, person should do it because he, by his work. Yeah, and when we talk about delegation, it's more about additional tasks which are not such connected with his, for example, job position. And yeah,
agreed. Yeah. But not all tasks can be to mentor, to coach a successor, for example, right? Or to bring somebody up to speed with the tasks that are new and are being just freshly introduced. But I got the answer to my question.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
So now in chat, I can see that people left some comments.
Yeah, I see that people are very active, but I see that the time is finished. Natasha, maybe we could answer for these people in mail, or if they have more questions, they can write to you or to me or to Anastasia, and you could add us in LinkedIn, for example, and to write here. We will be glad to answer all the question, and it's very interesting discussion.
Yeah,
yes,
sure.
of course.
You can follow us in different social networks, and you can ask a question whenever you have a time.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, guys, for joining us today. I hope you really enjoy our time with us, and it was productive meeting for us, for you, and for us. So yeah, following the meetup, we will send you an email with some questions about meetup, and we will be glad to hear the feedback from you. And also, the email will provide you with the record of this event. Thanks again for the meeting, and really thanks for the
thank
speakers.
you.
Yeah, have a nice evening.
It was nice to meet you. Yeah, and to see you.
Yeah, thank you very much for such activities and for these reactions. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
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 Yeah, have a good one.